Hi, scribes! How's it going? Hope the day has been good to you. Yes? No? Whatever it is, perhaps you can also adopt one of the mottos I live by: keep moving forward. Okay? Interestingly, I first heard keep moving forward in the context it was used in the animation film Meet the Robinsons.
What are we gonna do?
Keep moving forward.
Scribes, if you love animation, you should totally check out that film. It's super good. Right, back to it. So we're in the story phase of things now, and we've started understanding the different genres of fictional storytelling. So far, we've covered folklore, mythology, legends, epics, drama, and action. Next up is the adventure genre, like the Jumanji movies, both the original ones and the reboot. This genre is similar to the action genre. The only difference is setting. Adventure films have the same basic elements as action films, but they usually set in more exotic, faraway, or unusual places. Another type of storytelling is historical fiction, like the movie 76. A historical fiction story is a story that takes place in the past. Historical films, when done well, should capture the details of the era as precisely as possible for genuineness. This includes the culture and tradition, language, social norms, etc. Next on the genre list is comedy, like one of my all-time favorites, Coming to America 1. Comedy stories are funny, entertaining, feel-good types. These stories center on a comedic premise. Mostly, it's about putting your character in an amusing, challenging, and definitely humorous situation. A situation they're not prepared to handle. Next up is fantasy, like the movie The Waterman by David Oyelowo. Films in this genre are about supernatural, make-believe, or magical elements, things that don't exist in the real world. Sometimes there's the mix of the real world, with a few fantasy elements in there, but mostly fantasy films are about imaginary worlds, beings, creatures, etc. Fairy tales are also a big part of this genre. We can say a subgenre. Then we have romance stories, like the movie The Vow. Simply put, and as the name implies, these are stories about love. It's usually about two characters exploring elements of love: relationship, marriage, wedding or wedding themes, infidelity, hurt, forgiveness, etc. And next is science fiction, like all the movies in the Star Wars universe. Stories in this genre normally explore themes about time travel, space, and alternate realities, things that don't exist in the real world. The genre also builds its own worlds and universes, which is closely related to fantasy, but sci-fi movies are usually more science-based. And the last on the list are horror stories. I mean, the name speaks for itself. So let's just say horror films are supposed to leave the audience with an overwhelming sense of fear and dread. Personally, definitely not my favorite types of movies to watch. And so, that's it for types of fictional films. For non-fiction, I'll just place a list here. You can pause the video to see what they are. Now, if your writing interest lies more with the non-fictional type of storytelling, you can pick from any of the lists given, or choose any other topic that interests you. The most important thing is to tell a good story. Which begs the question, what is a good story? A simple response is, a good story is one that stays with the viewer long after its consumption. A good story is a memorable story, as a story that, to a large extent, one can still recount in vivid details. So then, what makes a good story? I'm going to narrow it down to these 5 factors. 1. Character. Remember when I said character is very important, Okay. 2. Plot/conflict. 3. Stakes. 4. What is the character made of? That is, qualities. And 5. Journey/transformation. These are the 5 elements that makes a good story. Now we're getting somewhere. But let's stop for now. We need time to digest all these, so we'll talk more in the next episode. Bye! Don't forget, questions are always welcome. Let's chat in the comments or send an email to rightnowscribes@gmail.com. Better still, you can say hi on IG at rightnowscribes.